Hi everyone. It's Saturday morning about 9:30 as I'm recording this on March 25th. So I was going to write another announcement email, but I thought that maybe a video would be quicker and more meaningful because there's a lot going on right now. I think a lot of concerns across the board from you guys around this video assignment that you're supposed to watch this week that's been a hot mess. Also, getting grades back for the group proposal paper and the grades that you have gotten. Lots of concerns there as well. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about all of those things, starting with the video assignment for today, or that's due tomorrow at the end of the day. I'm actually, first of all, number one, changing the due date to this Wednesday, end of day. So, a couple words about accessing that video. So I accessed the video this past Sunday, a week ago, coming into the module because I really wanted to make sure it was up and running and everything was going to go nice and smoothly. I was able to access it, and then all of a sudden something happened within the university system, their own video platform system, that made it inaccessible to you guys. And I started, thank you, by the way, to people who reached out saying this video is not watchable, you can't get it. And one of you guys reached out to Tilt to kind of get the ball rolling on an IT ticket. So that was really helpful. It turned out that it wasn't an issue with Canvas or with our video in particular. Apparently that entire, no one could access videos from that particular platform within the university system. So IT worked on it. The ticket for that problem was closed yesterday morning around 10 a.m. So I was able to access it yesterday. I was able to access the video this morning at 6 a.m. when I tested it again. So you guys should be able to access it now. The glitch is supposedly fixed. So please do read through all the directions on Canvas as to how to access it. Make sure that you're using your secure login and have that open on your browser as well. And then you're going to have to chat with each other or contact IT for any other help because I think the foundational issue has finally been fixed. So that said, really just now being able to access it as of yesterday is not a whole lot of time to watch it and then put together your reflective assignment. So I'm pushing out the due date to this coming Wednesday, end of day. So go ahead and do that. I think that's going to work well because also with Module 11, you don't have anything that's due this week. I built in this week as kind of a working week because there's so much that's going to be coming due in the next few weeks leading into the end of the semester, and I don't want it to, and these are big assignments, and so I don't want you to find yourself feeling stuck and overwhelmed. So give yourself the break of having this extra space to finish this reflective assignment, and let's take a few minutes to talk about grades as well. So the last few reflective assignments that we've had, some of you have been unsatisfied with your grades. I did post a video at the very beginning of the semester about how to do well on reflective assignments. So if you are starting to look at your grade, especially in light of the new group proposal paper that you turned in, if your GPA in this class is not where you want it to be, take a few extra minutes and look at the video that I posted about how to do well on reflective assignments, how to answer those questions thoroughly to get the maximum points, and hopefully that'll get you moving in the right direction. Talking about Module 11, and then we'll go back to talking about grades. This week we're going to change focus to Bowen Family Systems and Strategic Family Therapy. So it's a lot of reading. And please, 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 again, the reason I am not doing any specific assignments with this module is because I really do want you to focus on doing a thorough job on the readings and really internalizing these readings, because the material that you get from these readings is going to play a very big part in the family theory application and genogram assignments. Just spend some time conceptualizing the family case that you're going to be using for that project and start working on your genogram now. That's going to be, genograms are really central to Bowen Family Systems. So that would then now would be a good time to start integrating your genogram as you start learning about Bowen. Let's see. Another tip, and I have this written out in the overview for this module as well, so take a look at the overview for some more detail. Um, look at the family that you're going to be using for your big assignments through the lens of family system and strategic family therapy as you do those readings, and start to take notice of the patterns that you're seeing, um, and how the family reacts and behaves with one another. Look for patterns of triangulation. Start to notice, in regard to the family that you're using, where are there spoken and unspoken rules and norms within the family? Where do you see the dynamic of fusion and enmeshment? Um, if considering some of these questions elicits an emotional response from you, that's probably a good thing, because it means that you're really starting to integrate the readings into observing your practice and observing the populations that you're working with at work and in your internships. You should also be reaching out to a classmate, because you're going to be presenting your family case to a classmate. So make sure that you're coordinating, deciding who that person's going to be and when and where you're going to meet, whether that's going to be in person or remotely using technology. I think planning your time together is going to keep you on track. So again, if you want some more detail, I've written out a lot of the stuff in the overview for Module 11 in Canvas. I know not many people are used to looking at the overview for direction, but please do. There's a lot there this week. Okay, and then a couple words about grades. So I have 10 papers from the new group proposal paper left to grade. It's taken me a really long time to grade these assignments, partly because they've been kind of rough. There's been a lot of B's and a lot of C's and a couple not so great grades. So those take a long time for me to grade, because I want to be really careful about making sure that you fully understand where points are coming off. And the rubric and the assignment for this particular paper were very, very specific and very, very clear. So please take a look. If you're finding yourself unsatisfied with the grade that you got, do a couple things. Number one, please utilize the comments that I've made in the body of your paper in Canvas. There's always, like, if you're looking at your screen, off to the right side, there'll be the breakdown of the points within the rubric, and like where the points came off, where you got your points and your grade. And I might write a little note that says, like, see body of paper for more detailed feedback. So look in the body of the paper. Like, I put little flags with like red arrows that like give comments off to the side of where areas were lacking. And I think overall the things that I noticed that were really lacking was, number one, the ability for you guys to really write a literature review that hit all the points that were in the assignment. So I noticed that it seemed to be lacking in a lot of papers. You might have been addressing, for example, like the problem population in your literature review, but I came across more than a handful of papers that really didn't go into the intervention that you were using itself in this group, and how the literature showed efficacy regarding that intervention and with the population that you were working with, and is that intervention effective in groups? A lot of times that was completely missing, or it was flip-flopped, where you guys would go into a lot of detail around literature regarding the intervention, but not much literature regarding your population. So those were really common gaps that I saw in a lot of papers. Also missing were details about how your group would be formed. Is there a curriculum? What do sessions actually look like? That was missing from more than a handful of papers as well. And then also in the evaluation component, there were several specific questions within the assignment about evaluation. So like, what criteria were supposed to be used to determine a successful outcome, and how is group effectiveness evaluated? This was disappointing in some regards, because you guys are taking program eval classes now. And so it should really be on the forefront of your mind to think about, what kind of quantitative measurements and tools do I use to show that a program or an intervention is effective? I think in a broader scheme, you should be thinking about, okay, if I'm working in a nonprofit or a state-funded agency that's, short on budget, short on staffing, it's really, really important to be able to point to concrete ways to measure that an intervention that you're proposing could be assessed and evaluated. So saying things like, an informal survey will be taken to assess participants' experiences is really inadequate, especially at the graduate level. So, and the other thing is that, within the rubric, like there were very specific criteria around how evaluation was supposed to be managed, as well as diversity. That was another thing that I think came up quite a bit lacking was, how does my group address diversity? Like, for example, if you're writing a paper that's, if your group proposal was about, a domestic violence support group, well, culturally, intimate partner violence, physical violence, verbal abuse, like all of those things are handled in very different ways depending on a cultural population. So that should be mentioned. That should be explored a little bit. And again, like a lot of you guys, that would kind of fall by the wayside. And that was a specific thing in the rubric that got a lot of points or was a part of missing a lot of points. So a few things. If you find yourself unsatisfied with the grade that you got, I'm happy to talk to you about it because I really do want to support your learning. That's one of the reasons why I'm taking so much time in grading these, and I'm giving so much qualitative feedback in the margins of your papers because we do have really big assignments coming up, and I want you to know what's missing and what you can do differently to get a grade that you're satisfied with. And I want to support your learning. I want you guys to feel like you're actually like advancing in your ability to write a scholarly academic paper. So if you're unsatisfied with your grade, 3 things. Number 1, reach out to me. Let's schedule a time to talk. Number 2, before we talk, please make sure that you've gone through all of the comments that I've put into the side and the margins of your paper. And number 3, make sure that you've really taken a close look at the assignment details itself and the rubric itself. I really want to make sure that when we have these conversations that you've already got a good baseline, can like hold the rubric up to your own paper and to my comments and see exactly like where those points came off. So I hope that's addressing some of the concerns that have been coming up for everybody. I know we're starting to go into a pretty busy part of the semester, not just with this class, but for your research class and program evaluation class as well. I know that there's a lot going on and that's building to our in-class weekend at the end of April. So please continue to reach out to me with questions and concerns. Again, that reflective assignment paper on the Gottman couple session is due on Wednesday at end of day. I hope that you guys are connecting with each other around your family assignment and starting to coordinate that stuff. And I hope that you really get a lot out of the readings this week on Bowen and strategic family therapy. So I think that's it. Good luck this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing those reflective papers coming in this Wednesday. And, last thing, for those of you guys who have not gotten your papers for the new group proposal, you can expect those to be completed by end of day tomorrow, which is Sunday night. Okay, thanks.